Anyway, let me introduce Julie Valin.
So thank you guys so much for being here. It is so amazing to see your faces. And I don't know what I'm doing with this, but let's just play around with it for a minute. And like actually see your smiles. And I hope that you just keep that part going. Yeah, so I just feel like I just am so thankful to be here, and I feel like a poet in isolation. Like I went through all the stages of grief, you know, in the last 2 years, with like shock and then depression and then non-functioning and then uncreative and then grief and then self-doubt, depression, self-doubt, self-doubt, self-doubt. But now I'm emerging and I'm like at the elation stage. So I just love you all. You guys are great. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. We're gonna have so fun. To kick things off though, I'm gonna invite my very good friends on stage to kick it off with a poem I wrote about writing. And so, ladies and gentlemen, first off, to kick it all off and to have fun, we have my friends, the Poetry Crashers.
Instructions on not writing.
Talk about it all the time. How you're not writing. Act mad. Act like writing is a thing with fists to be mad at. Listen to the regarded poet on the radio say that she can't manage to call herself a poet because it's too lofty a term. Think about that the whole car ride home.
Think about how you so cavalierly call yourself a poet. Think about how you never really thought about its implications when you say it out loud to another person. How lofty it sounds!
Instead of staying up nights writing during the blue hour when everyone else in the house is asleep, binge on all the episodes of Mr. Selfridge in a 2-week time span. Go about your day with Mr. Grove on your mind, hoping he'll pull through, or at least have one last go around with Josie.
Agree to your writer friend that you will write 600 words by Friday to send to her, but then treat it like it's another college paper that you know you won't get to until 2 hours before midnight on Friday, except you know it's not actually a college paper, so you really won't get to it until the following Tuesday.
At an attempt to save yourself, buy the audiobook Big Magic and listen to it on the drive to coach your student for a poetry competition. Be inspired for precisely 38 minutes and 6 traffic signals, and smile out the window to the rain. Know that your own big magic will come after hours and hours of dredging. But put off looking for where you last put the shovel, because you'd rather watch another episode or 3 of Mr. Selfridge.
Forget the quote you had Siri write on your phone that said, "Artists by nature are gamblers." The only thing you're good at gambling away is all the time you've spent not writing. Look at the clock.
It's 11:18 p.m.
Your eyes are squinting at the computer screen and your husband is snoring in bed.
There's nothing romantic about this.
But you notice that the click of the keys makes some sort of new music that intermingles with the rain, clicking the roof.
No, there's nothing romantic about this.
But the keys are tapping out steps. Keep on rolling.
So that was the first time I saw that. That's very amazing. Thank you guys so much. I love you all. You're awesome. Woo! So how do I top that? Like me reading my own poems as myself? Okay. So I'm gonna start with a poem. Am I echoey? Or is it just me? Okay, a little echoey.
I'll fix it.
Okay. Okay, she always fixes it. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, that should be good. So I'm gonna start with a poem that I always end with. It's kind of like my Sympathy for the Devil encore poem. So I'm gonna just kind of flip things around because why not? It's like the first poetry reading in a long time. With my friend Sean on guitar, which I love very much. I go back to the blues. There is nothing left for me. No one sits on porches anymore. Only white guys play the blues. All the old guys are dead. Robert Johnson is dead. Bukowski is dead. All the poets have already said it the right way. Every urge and impulse has been acted upon a million different ways. I can't even get an adequate title, let alone a gripping last line. Could it be the antidepressants are no longer working? The good drugs are for 20-somethings. Making out is only for those falling in love, and true love is for those younger than 40. There are no jukeboxes in this town. I have lost my tolerance for Jaeger shots. No one looks twice at me. I will never again have a one-night stand. My best friend is gone in a different time zone. My husband doesn't hear me, and my favorite jeans no longer fit. There is nothing left for me. So I go back to the blues. Sip my coffee with a splash of bourbon, watch the record spin behind the glass, and listen to poets sing 80-year-old words to fill me up once again. playing chicken. We were neck and neck, double lanes on the highway. He in his red pickup, me in my gray four-door. For 1.5, 2 miles together, pushing our luck. 65, 71, 75 miles per hour. Turning his head, he smiled at me, then veered off on an exit in the middle of nowhere, not having the guts to take it any further. Yeah, so it took me 3 tries to watch and stick with Walking Dead, because when it started, my girl was a little girl, and I started watching it when everybody was asleep. So I was like all by myself, and I just couldn't do it. And then finally, the 3rd time, I don't know, it stuck, and I've just been an avid, follower of Walking Dead. And now that my little girl isn't so little anymore, we actually started together from the beginning, from episode, like the 1st season, and we're watching it now. So this is an ode to that. Walker. You know how they say we choose dogs that resemble us as we walk through life with leash in hand. Walking Dead is my dog, catching a scent in the woods, leading me around, leash unslacked, hungry. Episode after episode, I am transfixed by how the main character is going to get through another day this time. The lengths he will go through, how steadfast he will be in choosing love. How this decision day after day will gnaw away at him, threatening to turn him into nothing but 2 bulging eyes in ugly, rotten bones. Look out, I call into the living room. There's one behind the dumpster, I yell. Get him, right between the eyes, I cheer. The cat looks at me, to the heart of it all. And I realize who I'm really cheering for. I might as well tear my face open, drag my left foot behind me, and grumble, here I come. Are you going to love me now? Another poem lives. He picked me up at the Louis Armstrong Airport, followed by a failed attempt at the drive-through daiquiri shop, with the joint surrounded by 6 cop cars and the worker being walked out in handcuffs. Sans daiquiris, he drove me around the Lower Garden District, pointing out shotgun houses and antebellum witches' mansions, the colors and shapes, a gallery of streets. And then an evening walk down Magazine to the neighborhood Vietnamese place under a vampire sky. Now, here we are in his New Orleans living room, drinking vodka and sodas out of famous glasses etched in New Orleans architecture. 3 years gone and little Walter playing against the rock and roll hum of the window cooler and overhead fan. He tells me stories of his after-hours adventures in his new adapted dialect, with all traces of California gone. He remains a poem wrapped up in life. Even his street is named after the Greek muse of lyrical poetry, for God's sake. He refills our drinks, and somehow she comes up. He loved her, he admits. He still loves her. At least you got some damn good material, I offer. Yeah, he exhales in sort of a laugh. That material can sure keep me warm in the middle of the night, if I set it on fire. The famous glass he's holding sweats like tears running down on what will now become this famous August night. The humid air choking and glistening with truth. As the blues ring out and another poem lives and breathes. When Ghosts Appear, for Carrie Floyd, Crazy Cloud. Anastasia knows, right? He claimed he saw Bukowski, the now long dead poet, who just appeared before him, smiling big, standing over a bird. A bluebird? I asked cleverly, referencing his most famous poem. No, just a regular bird, he replied matter-of-factly. I was curious. I wonder why he was smiling. I think he was trying to tell me that things were going to be really good for me from now on. I wanted to press him. Why the bird? Because the bird represents me, how I travel from port to port with not a thing to my name and never a need to unpack, just exploring any place I want, away from the people. That's cool, was all I could say. That's just my interpretation, he continued. When ghosts appear, you can't ask them why they're there. You can only guess. You can be right or you can be wrong. You'll never know for sure. That's the thing about ghosts. We were quiet for the rest of the car ride home. He was looking out the window at the swamp, at the yucca trees, at the crumbling stones of the ancient Fort St. John. He pointed out a lone bird in the middle of the field, standing by an unmarked grave, foraging for worms as the green grass waved. Barbie illogic. I remember no matter what top I put on Barbie, whether a blouse or a knit sweater, her boobs were so prominent, like two perfectly smooth mountains. It's not like I liked them or was envious of them. I just didn't understand what their purpose was, except to distinguish her as a woman. And sometimes it felt odd to be a little girl playing with a woman doll who does grown-up and womanly things. Of course, I made her ride in the convertible with Ken, and I often made her and Ken kiss, with Ken's stiff arms at her hips, and her arms never able to wrap around his neck like I'd seen in movies, but up there attempting it. And since their plastic heads were not able to tilt, Freudian, I had to slant their bodies in a crisscross so they could reach each other's mouths. Later, as I began to do grown-up and womanly things in t-shirts or sweaters, I almost felt like Barbie, stiff and awkward, and always that first kiss with a permanent, dumb smile plastered across my face. A little parched, okay. This is a poem I wrote quite a while ago for my little girl. The days run away like wild horses, title borrowed from Bukowski. And there is so much dust, hooves on the wind blowing my hair back with hot breath, art and nature at work, the beautiful heaving of muscles under the velvet fur. I can only stand in one place, watch it all surge through, hold on to my daughter's hand. Now she says goodbye at the curb. Even that is moving away. The house that still stands holding snapshots in its packed up walls lopes out of sight. My uneven breath as I stand in the dust in one place, holding on to my hat. The beautiful moving away on longer legs with pink backpack. The small last turn. There is so much dust. Goodbye waves on the wind. I hold on to my hat. Bill mentioned a few poems about chopsticks. Here's my poem, Chopsticks. To you who taught me how to eat sushi with chopsticks, thank you. Because of you, I was able to eat an entire spicy tuna roll today while driving. I pulled it off expertly, using only chopsticks, box in my lap, knees on the wheel, and then a cat power song came on with the sound of thunder in the background to add to the significance. She was singing, I will love this love forever, a notion we never allowed to spill between us on that gray day in my living room, the rain shouting against the sliding glass door, and both of us quiet with knowing. We were too mixed up with everything, the rain, the Cat Power album, the impossible distance. But I look back and love how your hands, like a surgeon's, clasped the two sticks deftly as you gently squeezed the small, delicate heart on your plate before you consumed it. A good defense. When I was 16, the tarot card lady told me at the psychic fair that I was an armadillo. You have had bad things happen to you, she said, in that otherworldly voice that psychics use that is whispery and sounds like the strings of a sitar. So you have protected yourself, she went on, with your leathery armor shell. If there was internet back then, I would have looked up on Wikipedia what the hell armadillos are even made of or what animal family they're in. But instead, I just thought of how, strangely enough, I did always love a good leather jacket. And then I just nodded, scrolling through my childhood. I thought of all the kids on the playground by the monkey bars, and Carrie and Jan skipping off to leave me alone in the wood chips. Or all those times my brother got to sit in the very back of the station wagon to have the long window all to himself. Or how I always had to borrow Lisa's Jordache jeans to replace my Mervyn's specials. Or the time I shoved my sister down on her twin bed and slapped her cute cheeks, while my dad's shape suddenly loomed in the doorframe. Or all those family dinners around the table when my mom made me eat every bite of my spinach. Realizing I always lived to fight another day, I sat up straighter in my seat. Yes, I said, looking into the tarot card lady's eyes, I'm a motherfucking armadillo. Just try to punch through this and you already know what will happen. I strutted away, the studs on my leather jacket glinting. Endless tomorrows. You were right about the stars. Each one is a setting sun. Wilco. How many times I've watched the light play on your face that way, half in, half out, bars of shadow and day breaking over bed sheets, the 5 a.m. hour tugging you away, shackled to the sun's burning call. You stir and bend in the opposite direction from where my light wakes. You move through your days as golden light you wear on your skin, pine needles and sweat, blackberries and creek beds, a breeze you carry through the door when you come home. I am twilight, hair tips dipped in indigo, musk and promises, red wine and silver-lined dusk on porches. I am a vista of endless tomorrows, rising to greet each of your setting suns. We are the red spark on the horizon, from where you leave off and I keep going. This is a new poem, not in the book, called The Long Way. That whole stretch of road lined with waving cedars and oaks, and sometimes around the bend with the crooked stump, that white dog will be standing on the white rock in the meager yard of the White House at the edge of the chicken wire fence. And if he is, you won't believe your luck that day. A sunbolt on the hood of your car blazing the road ahead. You will notice that the daffodils by the sign that says drive like your children live here are like little children tumbling in the grass. And you think about your little sister, who's a middle-aged woman now, doing cartwheels down the grassy slope of your Nana's backyard in the middle of July, a firework of sunshine and memory. And your favorite song comes on, Saturday Blues Hour. You sing the words to the window wind. When the moon peep over the mountain, honey, I'll be on my way. I'm gonna roam this highway until the break of day. And when the part comes on about so long, baby, you wave back to the cedars and oaks and daffodils as you make your way to wherever you're going, the white dog of your memory gleaming at every turn. Like a meteorite. When you know love is going to be there the next day, as reliable as the electricity bill or the sun, you begin to wish for a meteorite to slam through your window at 2:23 a.m., right in the middle of your familiar dream of the young stranger who seeks you out at a crowded party in an unknown city, whose eyes sparkle with curiosity and thirst, who wants only you and moves closer, his arms melting around you until the most brilliant light you've ever seen, hot and golden, grows over and around you, beaming straight through you, the two of you not concerned with disappearing into the center of it and being zapped away like the afterspark of a lightning strike on a pine top. Or hell, at this point, I'd settle for a pebble tossed at my window at midnight, just to let me know that you're there and you can't wait to come up. Just a few more, then we can take a breath. No, okay. Drunk satisfaction. If two white Russians made with your grandmother's jackass jigger glass overtake your keto withered body on a Wednesday night, slightly after dinner time, and the only person around to see it is your best friend halfway across the country on a screen, are you still drunk? We were right in the middle of a meaningful discussion about what poetry can and can't do for the people when my phone goes dead. With that apt metaphor, I bump around in the kitchen with my curious dog staring at the floor by my feet. And I'm doing this and I'm slicing that, and the Stones come on the radio, and I'm trying to make some toast, but I can't get no avocado. The knife slips, flies, and skids across the floor and lands right under my dog's nose. But somehow I don't miss a beat and continue chopping things. I make something edible having to do with mayo and mustard and cheese on a low-carb tortilla with a side pile of Doritos because I'm a rebel like that. I make another White Russian with my grandmother's glass, do a silent air cheers to all the jackasses, and think more about poetry and what the people want when it comes to it. I have no answers, except that this sandwich thing is rewarding, and those Doritos really clinch the deal, which is all the satisfaction I'm going to get on a Wednesday. My last poem, which is my first poem in the book. Yep, I completely flipped it. Woo! Look at me being a rebel. Wow. Empty Room Radio. You are my favorite song that hasn't come on in years. The one I dance in the car to or play while chopping onions with a steady beat and a wild trumpet solo. I am Nina Simone beckoning, do I move you? Are you willin'? Do I groove you? Is it thrillin'? I am BB's Lucille, my soul strummed and bent, ringing out, filling every corner of the space you stand in, long after I've walked away. I am 3 a.m. blues, Coco Taylor's voodoo woman. I can look through water and spy dry land. I'm looking through water now and can still make out your face. I swear you're smiling. I am the radio left on in an empty room, my hopeful notes plucking the curtains with the kiss of a harmonica, a chorus of please. So much. Oh my God, I'm gonna have happy dreams tonight. Thank you so much. You are all awesome. I love you all, literally, like literally, I love you all. But you, yeah, all of you. Woo, boy, howdy do I. I'm gonna write a poem about you. No. But anyways, check out SierraPoetryFestival.org and just thank you for being here. You're awesome, and yeah, mwah.